Good morning, everyone. Excuse my hair. I am going to be working in the bed up by my office. And let me tell you a little story, okay? 3 years ago, my husband was paralyzed in a car wreck. And a lot of people know this from videos that I've posted. But what you all probably didn't know is that this was during the height of COVID 19. And he was quarantined at the hospital, and I could not join him at the hospital. I was home, he was there, and we were separated for 4 months. Now, around Thanksgiving, they decided he was ready to go to rehab because the entire time he was in the hospital, he was sick and wasn't being rehabilitated much because he was sick. So, in order for him to go to rehab, he needed a caretaker, which was me. So I had to quarantine on Thanksgiving Day and that week in order to be able to go to the hospital. So I went, got my COVID 19 test, came home, and did not leave until I was supposed to go to the hospital. That means, uh oh, there's a bird trapped in the greenhouse. Let's go take it out. I wonder, oh, we must have gone through yesterday, through the opening in the, um, you hear it knocking? It's trying to find its way out. It must have gone in yesterday when the vents were open. Come on, come on, come on. Oh, bless his heart. Let's see if we can help him get out. Come on. There you go. It flew out. So, as I was saying, the hospital asked me to quarantine, and so I did. And so on Thanksgiving Day, when everybody is around their family and having fun and fellowshipping, I was home alone. As if the accident wasn't enough, I was stuck all by myself to eat Thanksgiving dinner all alone. So I was feeling a little sad. And I said, you know what? You are not going to sit in this house feeling sorry for yourself. So I got up, I came outside, and I got to work. We had built, um, at the start of COVID, my she shed, and it had finally been finished inside and out as far as, usable. Um, and I needed to move into it anyway to get out of my husband's office. So when he came home, it was fully accessible to him. So I um, decided I wanted flowers around my office. So, y'all, I edged the entire bed. Let me show you. I edged this entire bed, and it doesn't look like it now because it's the end of the season, but it comes like this, swoops in, and then goes across to here. And I had a plant stash. Don't mind the purple pots and the blue pots. That's what we're planting today. But I had a plant stash. And in my plant stash, I had most of these plants. So I just decided, you know what? I'm going to plant them and let them be there, holding down the bed until I can afford to purchase additional plants. So this is the front. It's really not looking all that fabulous now. It's the end of the season, and everything is just about played out. Um, these dahlias are gorgeous, though. Um, but there are some holes in different areas that I wanted to fill in. I did want an evergreen on this corner in front of the office, and I wanted some phlox. This is going to be the bubblegum phlox that we plant here. And this bubblegum phlox gets 18 to 22 high and 18 to 24 wide. So it'll fill in the spot right here. And this is called the Lemon Burst Arborvitae. it gets 4 to 6 feet tall and 3 to 4 feet wide. So it'll fill in this whole section right there. And that's what I'm looking for. Something that'll stay all season long, because these roses are getting ready to lose their leaves. And when they do that, it's just going to look like sticks in the ground. This is a lemon cypress over here. So it does continue to shine in the garden during the winter months, but not much else. And there's a cryptomeria and a gardenia. So what are we doing today? We are going to move this gardenia to the back of the border, back of this bed, excuse me. We're going to remove this nandina and replace it with a little Hottie Hydrangea. We talked about this in the first video. There are going to be 3 little hotties in this section of the bed. 1, 2, 3. It's a low profile growing hydrangea, which is good because that's our orchard back there, and I like the view. We have some cleanup to do in the woods, get rid of some of the underbrush, but that's a whole nother story. So we're going to move this gardenia to the back. We're going to remove this nandina, and that will get rid of all the nandinas that are not sterile in my yard, and I'm going to burn them so we won't have to worry about them spreading any more. I am adding 2 Pop Star Hydrangeas. Now, this is one I have not talked about before. I absolutely love, 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 love the color on these. And they can be pink or they can be blue, depending on your soil. Most of my soil in my yard is acidic, so I know this will probably be blue after a while. So they look like this. They're by Endless Summer, and the specs on them are as follows. They get to be 18 to 36 inches high and 18 to 36 inches wide. So they really only get to be front of the border. So I'm going to put them as my second layer. And then, we'll have some perennials in front and some annuals to yearly. It's rated hardy, zones 4 to 9 to hardiness of -30, and is considered a mounded plant. It does like morning sun and afternoon shade. I hate to say this, but it's going to get a bit more than afternoon shade here, because even though this garden exists under these trees, they do get a fair amount of sun in the hottest part of the day. But it's okay. I have some other Endless Summer hydrangeas in my yard, and they bloom just fine in the full sun. They may droop a little bit, but they're fine by the end of the day. So we're going to have these to the front here and here. And then I have a different type of spirea for up here. That is these. This one is called Pink Sparkler. It's a birch leaf spirea. Look at the blooms on this thing. Isn't that pretty? It gets to be 3 to 4 feet high, 3 to 4 feet wide, and it's hardy to zones 7. But spirea do really well in my yard, so I'm not worried about it. And then the last thing is the phlox, more of that bubblegum pink phlox, and I've put another one of those lemon burst arborvitae on this side to tie in the other side, but also this beautiful coral bark Japanese maple. This coral bark Japanese maple is a chartreuse color in the spring, which will tie into that. And then it turns this beautiful yellow in the fall, which will tie into that. And then it ties into this euonymus shrub here. And then I love the contrast with this Cryptomeria globosa nana back here, right here. And then here's another one up here. So this one is at its maximum size. And this one is still growing. I had to cut it up a bit because it suffered some dieback one year. Behind it is a Daphne. And oh, is it blooming? No, it's not. But it does have buds formed for early spring blooms, and I can probably insert a picture so you see. If you don't have a Daphne in your yard and your yard can tolerate it, meaning your zone, get you one. They smell heavenly. Most Southerners plant gardenias because our weather tolerates them. And you see how gigantic they get. They love our heat and humidity. However, if you can't grow gardenia, a Daphne may be something that you can grow. And the scent, the fragrance on it is also absolutely wonderful. In the spring, this part of the yard is just amazing. Between the wild native azalea that's right here, as well as the Daphne that's right there, is wonderful. And then in the summer, the two gardenias, actually, there's a third on the other side, but you can't see it, that surrounds the office, gives us that nice fragrance. You open the windows and they can come, the fragrance can come in. All right, so without further ado, let's get planting. Now, when I first planted this bed, I didn't, I've added stuff to it over the last 3 years, but I've not spent any significant amount of time working in this bed. And that's because this bed triggered a lot of bad memories for me. So I'm trying to reclaim that. I don't want to be held hostage by memories. And yeah. I did manage to get everything planted in the fall, but never managed to get back out here to get the footage because the night after I planted everything, we had our first frost. And as a result, everything was brown and sticks, and you would not have been able to see what was done. So my plan was to capture it in the spring. Um, and that's what I'm doing now for you so you can see. So here is one spirea, two spirea, three spirea, and they have bloomed their first bloom and looked really, really pretty. This is the first Rockstar Hydrangea. You saw me plant it. Here's the other Rockstar Hydrangea, and they're starting to bloom. And as predicted, they are blooming blue. Here is one of the phlox. Here's second phlox, and there's the third phlox down here. Excuse me. And then also in that video that I never talked about were these roses right here that I planted. They're called Lottie's Love. Lottie's Love is one of the open style pollinator friendly roses, and it's a magenta color, and it is really, really pretty. I think I have a picture of it and I'll show that. There's the gardenia, and it is actually blooming. That's what those are right here, and is looking really, really good. So this is what it is looking like. Thank you so much for joining me as I am working on transforming my yard into my little private oasis, hoping you can learn along the way and we can grow together. Until next time, happy gardening.